News 15 at 5 begins with breaking news.
Begin News 15 live at 5 with breaking news. New details emerging tonight, 24 hours after the massive police standoff with an armed hostage taker at a mobile home in Jeanerette. It all ended with gunfire that claimed the life of a Lafayette Police Corporal, Senior Corporal Segus Jolivette, when SWAT team members entered the mobile home after waiting for hours. The two hostages inside were rescued safely, the suspect taken into custody. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us here at 5. I'm Marcel Fontenot. That hostage standoff ended with 4 Lafayette police officers shot. 3 of those officers recovering tonight. Another lost his life. LPD Senior Corporal Segus Jolivette leaves behind a wife and 5 children. The Opelousas native started his 11-year law enforcement career as an officer with Opelousas Police. He later joined the Lafayette Police Force, where he was serving as a crisis negotiator and SWAT team member. Prior to SWAT, he was a patrol officer, school resource officer, and a former juvenile detective. He was a current member of LPD's Honor Guard and was active with the Police Youth Explorer program. We've been told Jolivette was under consideration for a position with state police at the time of his death. Just a short time ago, a police procession brought Senior Corporal Jolivette's body here to Melanson Funeral Home in Opelousas. The procession from the coroner's office included members of the Lafayette and Opelousas Police Departments. The Melanson Funeral Home will be handling the funeral arrangements at this time. Those details have not yet been made public. We have team coverage tonight of the Lafayette and Jeanerette communities mourning the loss of Corporal Jolivette. News 15's Dracar Francois live in Jeanerette, where a vigil for the officer starts at 7 o'clock. But first, News 15's Jeff Horchak live in studio with us. Jeff, you're just back from a briefing with LPD officials this evening.
Yes, Marcel, it was a very solemn day at LPD headquarters. Those men and women who worked alongside Senior Corporal Jolivette to keep us safe are still in shock just a day after he was killed during a standoff in Jeanerette. Now, LPD Interim Chief Paul Truard said that Senior Corporal Jolivette always had a smile on his face and was a top-notch officer. He was an officer with LPD for 11 years, and law enforcement all across Acadiana were in attendance today to pay respects to this fallen officer. State police are currently handling this investigation, and LPD is asking everyone for patience as the investigation continues. They're also asking to keep the Jolivette family in your thoughts and prayers during this very difficult time.
Senior Corporal Jolivette leaves behind his loving wife, Alexis, and 5 children. These are very difficult times for the members of the Lafayette Police Department and the Jolivette family. I cannot express how much appreciation and support we are receiving from our greater Acadiana community. Our commitment and support to the Jolivette family will never stop.
For those wishing to support the Jolivette family monetarily, an account has been established at Maple Federal Credit Union. Please make it attention to the Jolivette family. We will be releasing additional information as we have it, especially as arrangements are still in development.
Now, Corporal Segus Jolivette is the 7th LPD officer to be killed in the line of duty in the department's history. Live in studio for News 15, I'm Jeff Horchak.
Thank you, Jeff. Well, Segus Jolivette is the first police officer for Lafayette Police to be killed in the line of duty in almost 7 years. The last fallen officer was Corporal Michael Middlebrook. He died in October 2017 responding to a call at the Big Boy store on Moss Street. Middlebrook was shot and killed by Ian Howard during an exchange of gunfire. Howard was recently sentenced to life in prison without parole as a part of a plea deal that spared his life. Our team coverage continues now. The officer's death stemmed from a standoff in Jeanerette. It was triggered when city marshals tried to arrest a 31-year-old wanted man. Tonight, a candlelight vigil to remember the fallen officer is happening at Jeanerette City Hall. That's where News 15's Dracar Francois joins us after speaking with the Iberia Parish community who's mourning tonight. Dracar.
Yes, Marcel, yes, that's right. Right now, I'm here in the Jeanerette City Hall, where a lot of people of Jeanerette with heavy hearts will be here to mourn the loss of the Lafayette SWAT officer who was killed in the line of duty. And earlier today, some elected officials of Iberia Parish did the same. It all began when Jeanerette City Marshal served a warrant on a suspect, Nigel Hurst, who they say barricaded himself in a home with 2 hostages, including a minor. The marshal's office called Lafayette SWAT to help, And after 9 hours of asking Hertz to come out of the home, SWAT forced its way inside of the home, and seconds later, shots were fired, killing Lafayette SWAT officer Segus Jolivette.
And listen, we appreciate the great sacrifice that was made by, Corporal Jolivette. But it doesn't make it easy for us. It doesn't make it easy for them.
Jeanerette City Marshal says he still has not been able to process the whole situation.
The hardest part for me is when you're asking outside agencies to assist you, and when they come to assist you, you get this type of tragedy.
Marshal Ernest Martin also says he knew Jolivette for years, both as an LPD officer for 11 years and Lafayette Parish's school resource officer. Many mourn the loss of a good man.
This is a very sad day for us here in Iberia Parish, and as you can see, with all of us together, we recognize what took place, and we want to make sure that everyone have our serious and sincere condolences.
Nigel Hurst is currently in the Iberia Parish Jail as the shooting investigation has been handed over to state police. Live in Jeanerette, I'm Drake Hart-Francois for News 15.
And here's what we've learned about the suspect, 31-year-old Nigel Hurst, who's wanted on multiple violent crimes in both Iberia and St. Mary parishes. And authorities were attempting to arrest him when he took hostages. Those crimes he's accused of include armed robbery, home invasion, multiple counts of battery, illegal use of weapons, attempted carjacking, domestic abuse, and child strangulation. It's not yet known what additional charges he will face in the wake of Corporal Jolivette's death. Well, continuing our coverage now as condolences continue to pour in for the fallen officer, among them Louisiana's senior U.S. Senator. We caught up with Senator Bill Cassidy earlier today at Conrad Shipyard in Morgan City. That's where he was dedicating a new U.S. naval vessel built there that will house 300 sailors. In the wake of the news of the fallen officer here in Acadiana, Cassidy says we must have a greater appreciation for those who wear the badge.
Don't you feel for his family? A guy who kissed his wife or a gal who kissed her husband and they left and they went out and got a call to be a SWAT team. They didn't think twice, they responded to it. Whenever anyone criticizes the police, they should remember the men and women who routinely put their lives on line and occasionally lose their life.
The senator says we can never replace the officers lost in the line of duty, but what we can do is make sure their legacy continues.